Paper 3 will be using the 2023 pre-release booklet on tourism and development and your understanding of fieldwork. Check out this summary of what you need to do to prepare for the final GCSE Geography exam for 2023. In this video, I'm going to talk about what you need to consider when going into the third exam for AQA GCSE Geography. You're going to be taking Paper 3 on Friday the 16th of June 2023 in the afternoon session. It's an hour and 15 and it's worth 76 marks.
Going into this exam, you should be aware that Paper 3 is broken into two sections. The Issue Evaluation section uses the 2023 pre-release resource booklet on tourism and development. When moving on to the fieldwork section, you need to demonstrate your understanding of generic or unseen fieldwork, as well as your own personal fieldwork you should have conducted. The first section concentrates on the pre-release resource booklet that was first available on Friday the 24th of March 2023. You should have received this from your teachers and already started to do your own independent study.
This year's resource is looking at tourism and development, with the main example being the Georgetown Revitalisation Initiative in the Cayman Islands. I've made a specific video going through the 2023 pre-release booklet, so click on the link above or in the description for a more detailed outline.
The pre-release booklet has 3 figures that are spread over 6 pages. A blank version of this document will be given to you in the actual exam room to accompany the exam paper. You will then be able to refer to the document when answering your questions on this issue. Figure 1, Tourism and Development, provides a broad overview of the increase of tourism data on a global scale, as well as the specific increase in cruise tourism. Figure 2, A New Cruise Ship Terminal, provides evidence that there needs to be an investment in a new harbour and port area to be able to meet the increased visitor numbers travelling on cruise ships. Figure 3, Different Views about the Proposed Cruise Ship Facility, provides more information on the Georgetown Revitalisation Initiative, positives and negatives of the project, and the possible harmful effects on the surrounding coral reef. In the exam, you'll need to make your own judgment if you are for or against this project. I have produced a lesson presentation and a mock exam paper to accompany this year's pre-release, so check out my website or the link in the description for more information.
The second section then looks at fieldwork. Now in this section you will need to apply your knowledge of fieldwork techniques to unseen fieldwork questions, as well as demonstrating your own knowledge of your personal fieldwork investigations.
You should expect to see some generic fieldwork questions that give you example data or graphs that you may need to interpret, complete, or speculate on how you would change the investigations in the future. These will probably be on topics that you have not studied, but you should be able to apply the main principles of fieldwork that you've learnt about during the course. The main structure of how you conduct fieldwork will include an introduction to the investigation. You should be aware of the various methods you might use and why you would have used them. You want to link this with the reliability and validity of the data. Knowledge of how you process data and production of graphic displays of results is also useful. Interpreting and analysing what the data tells you is next, and what conclusions you can make regarding the results. Finally, the evaluation should aim to consider any changes you would want to make to the study in the future. Here are some of the important elements that you also need to consider when conducting fieldwork. Primary data is collected by yourself, while secondary data is from someone else or another source. Quantitative techniques produce a numerical value, whilst qualitative involves a judgment from the person collecting the data. The type of sampling techniques used may also come up. Random sampling involves selecting a site or person to question at random. Systematic samples are taken at regular intervals, and stratified samples are taken from different groups or areas to get an overall representation. Reliability is about the consistency of a measure, so will be similar if tested again and again, whilst the validity is about the accuracy of a measure and if it answers the question. When conducting an investigation, a risk assessment must be completed. This assesses the risk to the people conducting the data collection. Common considerations include the appropriate clothing worn for the environment. considering the appropriate weather conditions, appropriate equipment, supervision for younger participants, making sure there's a first aider supervising the fieldwork site, if in a city, awareness of the general public, road and traffic systems, personal safety, and meeting points to avoid participants getting lost. You also need to consider the travel to and from the fieldwork site. You should ensure you reviewed all the skills you have used throughout your geography lessons as well as in your maths GCSEs. I would focus on your confidence when looking at a range of graphs and charts. You should be familiar with a broad range of these and have some understanding of how to interpret them, and knowing how to complete portions would also be useful. I'd also be aware of all the statistical techniques you could use in geography. I would suggest you check out the AQA website to find past Paper 3 papers so you can practice unseen fieldwork questions. The last section focuses on your fieldwork investigations. The most important thing you need to know is the title of your investigations. At the start of each question, they'll ask you about either your physical or human geography fieldwork titles. Here are two examples of fieldwork investigations that my pupils have conducted. You do not get specific marks for this, but you need to give your examiner context for your answer. It is also important that you can apply your knowledge of the different sections of your fieldwork. Make sure you know the difference between methods of data collection and methods of data presentation.
So that summarises everything you need to know for Paper 3 for the 2023 exams. Make sure you go back and check out some of my breakdown videos for Papers 1 and 2, as well as all the content I've produced for the 2023 pre-release booklet on tourism and development. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more GCSE geography videos, and good luck with your exams.